Hello everyone, welcome to patch 2.2c. It's live right now. The patch notes came out about 4 a.m. my time, that's why this video is a little bit later than normally, I should say, than what it should be. But I wasn't staying up until 4 a.m. last night. But some interesting changes in these patch notes. I have had a brief read through. Obviously you got the new skins, new champions as well. The meta right now is in a pretty okay spot, I would say. It's still kind of run over by all these AP assassins at the moment. But hopefully with, as you can see, Renekton being added to the field later in this patch, hopefully we see some nice bruises being added to the meta. But as mentioned, Renekton's coming out. It was rumored that Renekton was going to come out on the 12th, which is today, but apparently it's now going to be the 13th. But not really too sure what's happening with that. Hopefully Renekton comes out very, very soon. A very, very fun champion to play. I will probably be playing him on my Smurf account. Always been my go-to top laner when it comes to the PC League of Legends as well. So really excited for Renekton to come out. New skins, we got the Blood Moon skin line being added to Wild Rift. We got Diana, Jin, Kennen, and Twisted Fate. Another Twisted Fate skin. I feel like Twisted Fate has got a lot of skins already. Obviously, Scorched Earth Renekton as well. Really, really nice skin. And they have Infernal Nasus and Mecha Malphite, which is awesome. Got some new accessories with the Pride event now coming to Wild Rift as well. They'll be adding it to PC League, to TFT and everything as well, which is really, really nice. Got some new icons. Obviously the emotes, the Pride 2021 emote, which is pretty cute. Pretty cute. Little tiny Poro there. Nice little cute Poro, which is pretty cute. And you obviously got all the icons. You got the Blood Moon stuff coming out as well. The Ritual Master and the Blood Moon Return recall. And then you have the Home Guard trails as well, which is very similar to the PC League version. Maybe it might be a new thing that they might add in terms of maybe a new accessory that they'll be adding further in the future. Maybe more things that you can buy. Who knows? New events, everyone is welcome to the Rift. The Pride event starts on May 24th, so in a couple of weeks' time. Now, this is an interesting one. They're adding a new Nemesis duel. Now, in lore, Nasus and Renekton don't really like each other too much, let's just say. So, they're kind of adding the same thing, very similar to Rengar and Kha'Zix. But now, when Nasus wins the duel, his Siphoning Strike, so his first ability, his Q, strikes all enemies in an area. So, it'll basically be an AoE ability, which is kind of interesting. But the ridiculous one is Renekton. Now, if Renekton wins, he will remain at maximum fury during his whole ultimate, which I can't stress enough how insanely broken that is. His first ability is going to heal more. His second ability is going to be able to stun for more. You'll be able to slice and dice and shred armor as well. It's ridiculous. This, most of the time, will never happen unless the enemy team or your team pick Nasus first. They could pick Renekton into it because Renekton is a really, really good matchup into Nasus. Renekton is like this early game bully. But yeah, this probably won't happen most of the time. If it does, if you have Renekton on your team, then you should be on the winning side, hopefully. Now the important part, champion changes. Now, Braum was pretty obnoxious at the moment in the meta, especially in pro play as well. Pretty strong champion. His stun duration on his passive is going down by 0.25 seconds at every rank. Might not seem like a lot, but it is a lot when it comes into the long run. Obviously, it's really easy to get the Braum passive stacks. You can just auto-attack with Braum, or you can use his Q. And if he auto-attacks like multiple enemies, you can get multiple stuns off as well. But good change. I really like this change for Braum, to be honest. He was kind of annoying. He's not as good in solo queue, I would say, as in pro play. But this will definitely help in terms of pro play, and maybe his priority might go down a little bit. Small changes, but maybe, you never know. Diana's been rising up in terms of priority quite recently. People are not really building Nasus Tooth now on Diana. They're going for Rod of Ages, pretty much straight into Death Cap and Lichbane. So this is probably why they're nerfing the attack speed of the passive. So maybe now you might have to buy Nasus Tooth in terms of the attack speed passive, but going down by 20% is quite a lot. But you might see people still testing out this Rod of Ages Death Cap into Lichbane and completely ignoring Nasus Tooth. Because you can still pretty much one-shot someone if you jump onto them and auto-attack them a few times. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Evelynn's getting a nerf. It's not really a big nerf. This kind of is similar to the Katarina nerf, the -5 damage meme that's going around at the moment with Katarina, still one-shotting everyone. Things this does hurt though is an early jungle clear for sure, and early laning phase. There's still a few people that play Evelynn during laning phase, so the laning phase clear and also the early jungle clear. It won't hurt her too much, to be honest. I still think she'll be picked quite a lot, but it definitely will slow her down a bit for sure. Obviously it's only 5 damage, but if I do survive against the Evelynn on 5 damage, then you know why, chat, you know why. Fizz base damage increase, mana increase, base mana increased. Not really much going here. Fizz at the moment is yeah, it's a bit of a bad champion, I guess you can say at the moment. Doesn't really offer too much. If you do get ahead, then you can pretty much one-shot anyone on the enemy team. I kind of find Fizz fairly similar to Zed, very one-dimensional, very focused on one champion and not in terms of team fight. Obviously, Wild Rift at the moment is very based upon team fights, getting these big, massive AoE spells and everything. But Fizz and Zed, you pretty much just focus on one champion, try and one-shot them. And obviously, if they buy Zhonya's, then it completely cancels out all of that. Obviously, Zhonya's is a boots upgrade in Wild Rifts, so it's really, really cheap to get. Yeah, this won't really do that much, to be fair. Jack's base stats, mana per level has gone up by quite a bit, actually. And mana at level 15, obviously, has gone up because the mana per level has gone up as well. This might help Jax a bit in terms of split pushing. Obviously, Jax primarily wants to split push in a way. But again, it's like a mana change. It doesn't really do that much because as far as I'm aware, as far as what I can remember, Jax's abilities don't really cost that much mana in the first place. So I'm not really too sure where they're going with these changes, to be fair. Jax's late game's feeling a little over nerf, especially when he doesn't have access to blue buff. Giving him some mana as he grows should help him, allow him to scale. Okay, fair enough. So maybe some people are struggling with Jax with mana in the late game. I don't personally play Jax, so I'm not really too sure. Yeah, pretty interesting changes. We'll see how that goes. Now, this is probably the biggest change in the whole patch. Kai'Sa is obviously performing quite well. I've actually been playing Kai'Sa quite a lot in solo queue. I was kind of not really sleeping on her. I knew she was powerful, but I didn't feel like I could carry as much as Kai'Sa in terms of like the early game and everything. But obviously in pro play, she's been picked pretty much all the time with Ezreal as well. But yeah, the Pantheon Rain bonus damage to minions below 35% HP has been lowered. When you upgrade this ability, the Pantheon Rain, when you upgrade it, when you get your BF Sword, Longsword, and Executioner's Calling, you can one-shot pretty much the whole wave. It's pretty disgusting. You can clear out waves really, really quickly. So they're probably stopping that because it was kind of ridiculous. And then the Killer Instinct, the ultimate, up by 20 seconds in the early game. Mid game down by 10, up by 10 seconds, and the late game hasn't really been changed that much. Pretty big nerf, I must say. Killer Instinct is kind of her way she can have access to the backline, or the way she can escape from enemies or kind of catch up to them. So being nerfed by 20 seconds is quite a lot. Obviously, you can get access to your ultimate at level 5, at level 9, and at level 13. So at level 13, you won't feel any difference at all. But at level 5 and at level 9, you'll feel a pretty big hit, to be fair. But not really anything in terms of her damage has been changed, like her passive or anything like that. But the ultimate is definitely a pretty big change. She'll have, I guess, less ways of being able to escape from champions, which would be kind of interesting. I'll still test out Kai'Sa. I still think Kai'Sa will be pretty good, to be fair. Because her damage is still there, her build is still there as well, so we'll have to see how that goes. Lee Sin passive on his attack speed has been lowered. This affects obviously his jungle clear speed as well. Lee Sin has been overperforming again quite a lot in pro play and in solo queue as well, to be fair. Lee Sin is just this really obnoxious champion that can just invade, run around. He can dash pretty much anywhere, not like PC League, so it's kind of frustrating to play against. So this will definitely affect in terms of his jungle clear speeds, and also obviously when it comes to fights as well. Not necessarily really in fights because you mainly focus on your abilities, but definitely the clear speed will hurt quite a bit with Lee Sin. Lulu's been falling out of the meta right now because of just there's so many other enchanters that are better at the moment and just offer more. Janna, Lux that you can see there, Lux has got changed as well. But Janna, Lux, and Seraphine are just far and above what Lulu can do at the moment. So obviously they're reverting the movement speed nerfed from a few patches ago, and they're giving her some more mana in the early game as well to start off the game. So little small changes. Don't think it will affect too much. Janna is still a lot better. I even prefer Seraphine to Lulu now, to be fair. So we'll see how that goes. Again, another pretty huge change, to be fair. Lux has been one of them champions again that just super obnoxious. Just shield the whole team, and the shield was just ridiculous. Like, look at them numbers. 100, 140, 180, 220. Like, these numbers were just insane. Obviously, the way that Lulu's shield works is that the first shield, when it goes out towards the towards your allies, sorry, when it goes towards your allies, the first shield is weaker than the second shield. So the second shield going back was always stronger. That's why these numbers might seem a bit crazy. But obviously, this has been nerfed by quite a lot, as you can tell, by about 50 in the over 50 in the later stages when it gets maxed. And obviously the AP ratio has gone down as well. So it's a pretty big changes to Lux, to be fair. Obviously, she won't be shielding the whole team as much. I still think the numbers might be pretty high. We'll have to see what happens. But this is probably going to make it Janna like #1 for sure. Janna's just going to be the most broken and just the craziest support at the moment. And it'll probably stay that way as well, to be fair. Surprised Janna didn't get hit again, to be fair. We know that Ardent and Harmonic Echo got hit before. But only Lux got hit, it seems like, in this patch. So it's pretty interesting. Pantheon, some really, really nice buffs to Pantheon, actually. Armor per level. So his armor goes up by 5 in the late game. Not really that much big of a change, but it does help in terms of him surviving. But a big change is kind of the shield vault, to be fair. The base damage is actually going up by quite a lot, to be honest. If I remember correctly, you max this second after your Q. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure you do max this second after your Q. So your 220 damage you'll probably be getting at between level 5 and 9, is it? Probably. No, just after level 9, I think it is. I think it's like level 10 roughly that you'll get your second ability max. So being able to do, 220 damage on a single target is quite a lot. And it doesn't include like any damage items or anything like that you may have. So it's a pretty nice damage, to be fair. Pretty nice damage bust to Pantheon. Maybe might be played a bit more. Twisted Fate, his red card area of effect radius has been upped. This helps in terms of his clear speed, definitely. Not a lot of people use red card at the moment, really, to be honest, because you kind of use your Q to wave clear or something, but this definitely helps. And obviously the slow has been upped as well, which is pretty nice. Again, you max your card second, I think. I think you max your second ability second. I'm not really too sure. I don't really play TF that much. Pretty sure you do, though. So again, you'll be able to feel that 50% slow later on in the game. Some ARAM changes. We're not really too bothered about this. Changes, damage dealt, damage received, all that sort of stuff. Now we have the last change of the patch. It's pretty small patch. This is the patch just before 2.3, which will be coming out in 3 weeks' time now. So this patch will be going for long for 2.3. Passive gold. Now, I mean, hearing a few things about like this will help in terms of split pushing. You can't really lose that much minions. It's a pretty interesting change. Obviously, at the moment, you can get your late game builds and everything quite a lot. But I think the reason why people are getting to late game builds and people are getting, gold and everything is because the game at the moment is kind of focused, again, on what I said earlier. Team fights. People are getting kills left, right, and center all the time. There's always team fights going off, and it's just absolutely bonkers. This will obviously slow down how much gold you get. I don't really know how much it's going to do in terms of the long run. Obviously, the long run is going to be it's going to be pretty crazy, to be fair. Obviously, you lose 1 gold per second, so you lose 60 gold a minute. And for some reason, it took me so long to figure out. 60 gold a minute. Obviously it does affect obviously people trying to build a lot sooner. But if you think about it, 60 gold per minute, it's not really that much, to be fair. It's not really that much at all. But we'll have to see how this affects things. They're saying that it's mainly for split pushing and everything like that as well. Yeah, split pushing weaker than we like to. It makes it so losing minions will now cost more gold in a way. Because at the moment, people are not really too bothered if they miss minion waves because of the passive gold, because you're going to be getting kills in team fights, and because objectives are so important. But because the passive gold has been lowered, now people might think twice about minions and might think, oh, I need to catch that minion wave to try and get my items more, etc. So we'll have to see how that goes. Obviously, free champion rotation as well. Dyna's going to become free. You got Renekton, which is going to become free between the 20th and the 26th of May. Yeah. Oh, sorry, excuse me. So yeah, that is the changes for patch 2.2c. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, Kai'Sa and Lux are the biggest nerfs in this patch. Some very, very interesting changes. Nemesis Duel is going to be interesting as well. Hopefully, we get Renekton soon. As of this recording, Renekton is still not out. But hopefully, he'll be out soon. Who knows? But anyway, thank you guys for watching. When this patch gets, obviously this patch is already released. As of now, this patch is now released. So I'll be trying to get some more content out for you guys. I'll be testing out Kai'Sa. I'll be testing out all these new changes. And hey, Zion might get more priority in the meta now as well with these Kai'Sa nerfs. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, sorry that I haven't been obviously uploading as much as what I want to. I've kind of been busy over the last couple of days. As some of you may have seen from my posts on Twitter or on Instagram, everywhere else. I was at the Excel office yesterday, so I was doing a few things there, and yeah, pretty awesome. Yeah, thank you guys for all your support as always. I'll get back on track very soon, don't you worry, and I'll see you guys very soon. Stay safe. Peace.